That's a beta male thing.
It's
Get
definitely
the fuck
not.
out of here, though. What's his name? Charlie Rocket. Have you heard of him before?
No idea.
Isn't he the... I want to say that he's the dude who did the fake restaurant over in the UK, no?
I think you're thinking Mr. Beast.
No.
No, okay.
Completely different.
I'm not sure. He might have. No, Charlie Rocket did that with Nike. He wanted to become a Nike athlete, so then he sort of bought all the Nike clothes.
He's the guy who was a little bit larger and wanted to cut weight.
Yes,
Yeah,
did the
dude,
Iron Man.
He's nuts. He's funny as for doing that.
Yeah.
So he
he's-
basically, he was this overweight guy who was like, oh, I'm gonna lose weight, blah 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 blah. And he was like, yeah, Nike sponsors me, all this sort of
Yeah.
shit. And then made a video on YouTube, and then it went viral. It went viral.
No, and then he also had input on number 7 from the 49ers, super controversial Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, Kaepernick.
Was
Yeah.
it number
Oh,
7?
this is a recent thing.
Yeah,
Really?
he had input on that Colin Kaepernick ad of "Think Different." I think it might have been.
Oh, really?
Was that the slogan for the ad?
Because they must sponsor so many people. They might have just... Oh, well, we must sponsor this guy. So, someone in
What's his
the...
name? Charlie.
in the outreach
Rocket.
team.
Yeah, his Instagram handle. I don't know how he got it. It's just Charlie.
Oh,
Surely had to pay for
pay
it
a
somehow.
lot of money for that.
Yeah, I don't know how you get a clean handle like that.
So
people
this is...
He was a fat dude.
This is him like fat.
Right. Okay. Yeah, rocking the
Hang on,
heavy dad
pull it
bod.
up because no one else can see it.
We'll put it up on the TV.
Heavy dad bod, but hey.
Oh no, that was him when he was like losing weight. He was
Oh.
bigger. He was like, dude, that's him like at one stage, like self-love sort of thing. Yeah, but then he basically.
I didn't even clear my search history when I started.
Wow.
But
What-
he talks about like starting a winning streak and just getting that like the little wins.
There he is. On the bottom right hand side.
This
there
is
you
in
are.
here.
Yeah.
Huge transformation, but it reminded me of what you're doing with the Violet
Spec
Crumble,
ads.
just putting it out in front. It's a spec ad where
So-
you.
So, in that, they were obviously happy to take him on board because full support of Nike.
Yeah. The whole point was like, I'm losing weight. Let me make myself famous, and then he used them as like the platform.
I don't think it was let me make myself famous.
Yeah.
You don't think?
I think so.
Could have been a genius plan, and he's like, you know what? They're gonna fall for this.
He's
They're
like,
gonna
maybe-
love this.
Maybe a lot of creators do it.
Yeah.
I saw a Jeep spec ad and it was pretty cool, and there's a whole backstory behind it.
There's
But-
heaps of people who do spec ads, and they do it on purpose, like just to get somewhere.
They know whose attention they want.
This
They
is
just go
this
for
is
it.
episode 9. We are making ground. We're almost in double digits. Welcome back to the Outspoken Show, the number 5 podcast in the world. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification. But people have been asking, how are we the number 5 podcast in the world? You've been around for 2.5 months.
Data's strong.
Well,
We
data
put out
is
big
strong.
numbers.
Data is strong. We pull in numbers. It's in short, it's a combination of video analytics
Big sponsorships.
and comprehensive data research behind it.
Just trust in the algorithm. It's all about that algorithm. That's what it is.
We have
100%.
figured it out. So we're the number 5 podcast in the world for whoever was challenging us. That is our title.
That is. And look, even though, because Luke, I was telling you this a bit earlier today, but at the beginning of every podcast, for whatever reason, I forget how to breathe. I'm so self-conscious about my breath coming through on the mic. For the first 5 minutes, it's just a constant holding my breath.
He's afraid to breathe on the mic.
Afraid to breathe. I don't know what the...
Let it out now. Just
Yeah.
breathe out, Matty.
And there's no anxiety. It's just as soon as the camera's on, yep, good point. Wait, I gotta breathe. Oh my
I
god.
turned the mic on just before we'd started recording, but the mic was on, and he starts to
See,
started
this
breathing into the mic, and I could hear it.
after sharing my experience, though, this was different. I have no problem breathing right now.
You can breathe.
I think I
Yeah,
just
the
needed to
start
tell
of the episode,
someone.
yeah,
I needed
yeah.
to tell someone.
that you're not breathing.
Yeah, I opened up to you earlier today, and I feel more comfortable, so now I can breathe.
That's
That's
hilarious.
beautiful.
On opening up this guy.
Oh, here we go.
We were at work. We're talking. Song comes on. Don't know what song it is.
Oh.
Mention Power of the Pussy. I'm like, that's a fucking real thing.
Yeah. Definitely.
He goes, nah, that's for beta males.
That's a beta male thing.
It's definitely
100%.
Get the fuck out of here, though.
No,
What
it's...
power?
What,
What do you mean, what power?
You've got a partner.
They control
Of course I
the world.
do. Yeah,
You've
Yeah.
got a partner.
exactly.
He's fucked.
Dude.
He's fucked.
Dude.
I don't know whether it's actually
Either
worth.
Jess is the most supportive lady ever, and she's very patient with his bullshit, or he's completely lying.
I just have good points sometimes.
But no, have you done anything for a woman?
What does that even mean?
Have you done
Have
something
you given
for...
her your jacket?
Have you
given
done
her an
something
extra
for
piece of
Jess?
chewing gum?
Yeah, when we first went out, on our first date, I think I gave her my jacket,
You know
and
that
I might have pulled out her chair. I
You know
can't
the
remember.
power of the
Though.
pussy is a reported on thing. Like, science says it's a thing.
Yeah, it's a beta male thing.
No, it's
I agree with you 100%.
no.
I don't-
Shut the fuck up.
It's
not
a beta
me.
male
Hang
thing.
on. So what? A weaker version of a male.
Yeah, we'll just fall for that. That's
You
only
can just fall.
just fall for it.
This is a ludicrous concept, mate.
There's a lot to life, a lot more to life than that, mate. You know, you can't
yeah,
let.
there's so many things.
I don't
to
think
life.
there's that much of a. There shouldn't be that much of a pull.
He reckons there's
It
no
shouldn't
pull.
dictate your life. There's
Oh
a pull
my
to
God.
some people.
Have you?
Yeah,
He's
I'm
never been to a strip club. He's
Alright.
never been to a
Of
strip
course,
club.
all right. Ben and I did not enjoy it.
Okay.
Waste of my time.
Okay, but you've seen.
Waste of money. $20, take it
I'm-
back.
I'm
I
not
don't,
a-
e- I don't even want
I
it.
don't see the point of it. I'm not a huge pay for it sort of guy.
No,
But
it's not worth money.
no, but hang on. I think you can go there and realize that people are paying for this stuff. There's a power there.
Dude,
Yeah.
there are dudes and girls, I guess, who'll rock up to the strip club. Boom, $1,000.
I know chicks that love it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying. Hey, I'm all for it. If you like that,
There's a
that's your
magnetic
business,
pull.
mate. Oh, some
That
people
is
think
definitely
it
some
makes
power.
them cool. Some people might just enjoy it. I don't know. I'm just not one of those, and I don't think the power doesn't work on me, mate. It's a beta male thing.
I think he doesn't even. I don't think you realize it. I think you've done something for Jess, your partner, and only done it for her, and wouldn't have done it for
Yeah,
someone
but
else.
that's a different thing.
No, it's
Definitely
not.
not.
It's not.
That's a different thing.
Please,
I don't categorize her as just the power as the mum. Sorry, mum, the pussy. You know what I mean?
Jeannie listens
She's a
to
person, bro.
Jeannie listens to
Don't
this.
quote me on
Jeannie's a
this.
fan of the podcast.
But it
Shout out,
didn't.
Jeannie.
It didn't start from that. It was starting from the point that it was like you can be controlled by sex with a woman. That's essentially the point. That's the point I was arguing against.
I think
Has
a
no
lot of
way
people
over my
can be.
decisions. Yeah, I know.
I think
exactly.
90% of men can be.
I
Yeah.
think higher.
And in,
Probably.
and in those moments, they're beta males.
No. Okay.
Okay. No.
We've got
That's
it.
my point. As an alpha,
Yeah, well, because mums watch this show. My mum watches
Yeah.
the show. I think I would
My
say
mum's a
my mum's
massive
probably
fan.
the least supportive of the three of our mums.
wow.
Yeah, mum's in the comments.
Your mum's always in the comments. Jeannie's always DMing saying she loves the show.
Yeah.
She's a huge fan. This weekend though, we finally get our chance to show our appreciation
What's
to our
this
mothers.
weekend?
This fucking dude, man.
Oh
This-
my
No.
I'm aware.
I think it's a part of the point though,
This
because
is
oftentimes
incredible.
our lives are so busy that we sometimes overlook and forget to acknowledge that our mothers play such a huge part in our lives, and
Absolutely.
it's significant. So I think Mother's Day helps us realize,
Brings you back
and
to earth a little bit.
it brings you down to earth and reminds you to appreciate the mothers in
Yeah.
our lives.
Of course.
And as Tupac says, and there's no way I can pay you back, but my plan is to show you that I understand. You are appreciated. What are we doing for Mother's Day?
I got-
Dino's got nothing planned.
I'll show
Big
you.
family, mate. We've got family events all
Dino
the time.
will be hungover on
Big-
Mother's Day.
Well, I've got a big Saturday night, but
Hopefully we can pull through on Sunday. I've actually got my gifts lined up this year.
you've got them lined up.
Have you got gifts?
I will, but not yet.
Have you got?
I'm a
any-
last minute shopper kind of guy with everyone's gifts.
Actually, you can't say what your gifts are. None of us can.
Yeah, okay.
No, it'll
No,
come.
we can't.
It'll come out before
No,
the.
it's
Mother's
coming
Day.
out just before Mother's Day.
My
Yeah.
mum's already got her gifts.
Okay.
Well, you can
yeah,
definitely say yours. That's
They're,
why.
they're perfumed flowers.
No.
Oh,
Flowers.
nice.
We can always put a little thing in the comments maybe or on Instagram or something like
Yeah.
that.
Mm.
We can
Yeah.
do something.
But-
maybe.
but
it's like perfume
beautiful
They're
flowers
sup-
for Rachel.
Yeah, no, they're supposed to last like 4 years.
Oh, really?
That does,
Yeah.
How
Do you
is
have
that
to
a
be-
thing? That's a terrible
Yeah, I
business
think-
model for florists.
No, they're brilliant. They're basically.
Otherwise, I'm buying those flowers.
Yeah, they're great.
They're going on the desk. That's
Wait,
dressing
are
up
they
our room.
real or are they fake?
Yeah, no,
They're obviously
they're
real.
real.
If they're fake, they last forever. If
They've
you
just
don't
been
throw them
cured.
in a bin.
I'd probably lose them.
Oh.
So that's-
No, they've just been cured with like this perfume and stuff like that that makes them last for ages.
how do they get cured?
Look, if I knew, dude.
Cured of death?
Yeah, this is why the market's there because
Yeah.
you don't know how to do it. Not easy to do.
But no, they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I got delivered today.
Yeah, have you got something?
I do. I can't say though. Actually, I don't even think my mum will listen to the podcast. She's told me what she wants.
She's in the other room,
Look
but
dead in the camera and tell her, and that way she'll know
You'll-
She'll bring something up. This is for you, Mum. I'm getting you a pair of leggings and a iPhone holder. This is
Wait. Like Muscle Nation just
of course.
discounted Mother's Day gifts.
She asked for it. She asked for it.
Okay.
My
Okay.
mum asked for a leaf blower.
But what I'm also getting her is this. It's a iPhone holder.
Very
I
nice.
often am sitting on my desk and
Using it.
use it like that.
Yeah,
So
no, they're brilliant.
she's
You getting her own or giving her yours?
hopefully it arrives in time. Otherwise, I'm wrapping that one and then keeping the new one,
Yeah, nice.
which works out better.
Wow, that's impressive.
You got to give up something. Sometimes you got any embarrassing stories? Yeah, okay, that's
I'm gonna give up. I don't want to give up.
Story. My mum, when I was younger, used to keep a little diary of all the crazy things I said as a kid growing up. And I used
Can
to
we
call
get
mangoes
this?
flamingos, or flamencos, or whatever it was.
I'm gonna
I could
message
probably-
your
I could
mum.
probably
Yeah,
get it, yeah.
we need to get this.
We can read it on
So,
on podcast. Yeah, I used to just call mangoes flamencos.
That's not.
Like the bird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the bird. Yeah, it's crazy, it's stupid shit that you
Yeah.
say when you kid. My mum's got a full book written up of it. So
That's nice.
We could probably
That's nice.
find it.
That'd
and
be
get some embarrassing
funny thing
stories up
to-
here. Oh yeah.
We should.
Oh, yeah.
When's your birthday? What date's your birthday?
15th to the 2nd.
Okay, that's a long time.
That's
I was
all
gonna
right.
say we can bring it on for your
We
birthday.
can do it.
Next time.
Another podcast.
But no, my mother's great. Every what was it? Every like big birthday. So from like 18th and 21st, she would reenact our births. Like she'd put on a display.
I've
Like,
heard about
I think it was the 18th she did it. She all of her children, all of her 4 children, she does a reenactment of the birth. It's actually quite special. Yeah. She always had the best 21st
How was your
stories.
conception? Is that the word? Conception. Okay. Yeah.
Look, I'll be honest. I think mine was boring. I don't think I was planned. I don't think it was. There was any story behind it. I
think it was boring. I don't think it was planned.
I definitely wasn't planned. Only of the 4 children in our family, 1 was planned.
Oh.
Who was planned?
Mikey, the eldest brother, lucky guy. Oh,
And then it just
he was the
slipped
planned
out.
one. Yeah, I know.
Slipped out.
Yeah, 3 just
Again. Are you kidding?
must be a family trait. I got to be careful with that. But yeah, no, it's
Hang on. I remember Dino telling us, "Oh, you weren't here for this. You were sick for this podcast. No, you were sick."
Oh, shit,
But how Mikey is closest to Roberts.
well, you're the one who
So-
said that. I did not draw that comparison.
you-
Don't quote me on that.
He was not thrilled with that comparison. He does not like.
Okay, so Mikey's not Roberts.
He's not Robert at all, to be honest.
From Everybody Loves Raymond.
I'm kind of Ray.
You're
You can kind of see a
Ray.
little bit of it, but then Mikey, he's not really
So you're
Robert,
not
except
the
being
popular
tall.
one, and
Well, Mikey, no, I don't know. I don't think. Yeah, I sound like Ray Romano. That's the link. I look a bit like him.
can
I
you
don't-
see it? I see it in him.
I don't know.
You can
The
hear
skin
it.
color throws you.
You say you calling me white, dude?
I'm calling his pale as fuck.
Wow, that's also a family trait. Shout out to Mum and my 2 sisters.
Yeah,
Very white people.
yeah. Angie's got it.
Yeah.
No, Mikey doesn't.
No,
If
that's
you
why I
had
said my 2
Mikey's-
sisters.
If you had Mikey's skin complexion, you would be this younger doppelganger.
Of Mikey.
Wait, is it Gaga?
What?
Wait, you saying I'd look like Mikey if I had his skin?
No, you'd look like Raymond
Okay, I accept.
if you had Mikey's skin tone.
Yeah, well, all right.
That would make for a perfect.
I'll cop it. All right, I'll cop it. What about you? Anything embarrassing?
Fuck. A few. No, I don't feel like I get embarrassed very easily. I like if Mum's doing
Mums
her
can
thing.
comment down in the comment section.
Yeah, actually, I
Actually,
don't want.
that'd be
No, let's stop them
hilarious.
from
Yeah.
No,
Would love to see the
I
inside.
don't think that I'm ever really embarrassed by anything.
Oh, that's absolute bullshit. Okay,
I would tell people I was never embarrassed by things too. I would always say I'm never embarrassed by things.
Luke is lying.
And I haven't.
Hang on. I will say, there was one time I was working at a bar. This 2 years ago. It was Mum's birthday. We had people over. We had drinks. Then I went to work, and then they were gonna keep drinking and then come into the bar, say 11 o'clock, whatever time it was. They came in. I had a section sort of ready for them. They're drinking, and then they get to the dance floor.
No, Jesus.
I wasn't embarrassed by her dancing. I was fucking mad. That's where my shitty moves came from. It was like, God damn it.
Shout out
That's-
for shitty moves.
Yeah, for,
Shit
for
genetics.
fucking me up on the dance floor. Oh, as in, like, not giving me a chance on the dance floor. Yeah, I gotta watch my
Luke
words.
will never get girls on the dance floor.
Yeah.
No, not on the dance floor.
Not on the dance floor.
Wow.
But
Do you know who gets moves?
Pair of conversation.
a lot of people.
Steph Curry with his
I was gonna say Big
massive
Sean.
Under Armour deal.
That's old.
Yeah, I know. But I was gonna sort of segue into this because I
Moves by
wanted to
Big
talk
Sean.
about some big money makers in the sports world, right? So, Steph Curry Cristiano Ronaldo. These guys, they make millions, billions even, in sports deals. We've just had Conor McGregor with his, profit 12.
No,
Proper 12.
Profit 12.
Proper 12.
Pardon me, proper 12. Just started selling that. Do we start seeing other big players in the sports world make brands, make deals, trying to make millions, billions of dollars?
So, like, who was the original? The original money was it Floyd Mayweather. Was he one of the
For
first?
what?
Just in terms of athletes who's
Just
turning
making money
huge.
off
I think
sponsorships
I think Michael
and deals
Schumacher.
and-
Schumacher
was the first
back-
athlete billionaire.
Was he
I
really?
think so.
I know he dominated Formula One for years.
Him-
I think Lewis
for a
Hamilton's
little
just
while
breaking
it
his
was-
records
it
now.
was- or for a while, it was just Michael Jordan, Schumacher, and Tiger Woods that had hit that elusive $1 billion net worth.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually a battle between Cristiano Ronaldo and Tiger Woods as to who's the most paid athlete by Nike. So, be interesting.
Who
to
won?
find out.
Oh, we don't know.
On $1 billion lifetime deal now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what Nike
no,
decided
so I
to
think
do.
Billion
It's a
dollar.
little bit
For
over
life.
$1 billion.
What do you mean? How do those work? I've heard that term thrown out. Is it like? So what's the $1 billion deal mean? Is that just a label chucked on it, or is
They
it
pay
you're
you
getting
$1 and they use you for literally anything they want.
Oh, really?
I'm sure there's a contract that
Sure, but that's pretty much the premise.
So
behind
they
it.
just here's $1
you're
billion.
exclusive with Nike for the rest of your life.
I mean,
I'm
that's
sure there's like a payment term where 'cause
yeah,
if you
100
commit
million this
suicide,
year.
like I shouldn't be talking about it, but
No,
like
but yeah, that's
if that were to happen in a couple of days, I'm sure
There'd be some
Nike
clauses
would
in
recoup
place.
some of that money.
Yeah.
surely.
Okay. I heard them thrown around. I was wondering if it was just a label thrown out there. No, they get probably close to $1 billion.
But who do you think? Basically, I was just bringing this up because I think it's interesting that Conor McGregor's gone and made just a massive amount of money from it. And we've got people like...
What did he make? So break down. There was a 600 million he
Alleged.
sold. He share. It was around 600,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
It was 600 and then maybe a little bit below.
It
Yeah.
hasn't been confirmed. But
Hasn't been
yeah,
confirmed,
what
that's
we've-
right.
That's
Yeah.
what they think it
People
is.
estimate it's 600 million. Who do you think's the next person to start doing that? Do you think they all go, oh
Yeah,
wow,
I think
he's done
it's
it,
so
can I?"
smart. I think it's so smart that Conor McGregor has gone and sold.
Mm.
I'm not optimistic about his fight against Poirier.
Mm.
I don't think he'll win, and I think his whiskey business does hinge on his UFC success, and selling a part of it, I think, because he still has, I think, a fraction ownership,
Yeah.
but he's a small stakeholder now.
Yeah.
I think it's so smart.
Do you think that him thinking if he loses he's done? Do you think that weighed into him selling
Oh,
off? But you think that was
Yeah.
probably the main reason he did it because he's like, I got to cash out before I fuck this up.
Yeah, he thinks his name's on the line.
You
In my
brought
opinion.
this up as well.
So-
You think he's becoming more self-aware?
Yeah, which is like he's not as like
He doesn't
I'm
think so,
invincible,
yeah.
I'm the best. So he's like, okay, there's other things I can be doing, and when you don't think you're capable of beating anyone, you probably can't fight anymore, especially a sport that brutal when the guy you're coming up against is
An animal.
yeah. And he still hasn't made it. Like, doesn't Poirier's made good money, but he's still not seen as in the same light as Conor McGregor
How
was.
old is Poirier?
He's younger than Conor, but I don't think he's that young. He might be late 20s. I actually don't know. I actually don't know.
off the top of my
Yeah,
We can find it, I guess.
but yeah,
I'll find it while you guys talk.
he hasn't
Yeah.
made his name like Conor McGregor has. He's getting there.
Yeah.
He's pretty big in UFC though.
I think
They
Conor
love-
McGregor has paved the way for a lot of UFC fighters in terms of how to promote and market themselves.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see any UFC people being these next billionaire types.
He's
I think-
32.
He's 32. Okay,
Is that
What?
I don't,
that's
I don't know
that's
what lifespan is.
athletic prime. They reckon that's around prime age for mixed martial
What's
arts.
McGregor at?
Khabib
34,
is
35?
32. No, he's 32.
McGregor?
McGregor's 32, Khabib's 32, Nate Diaz 36.
Yeah, so he's well in his prime.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, I think that is the prime because
Yeah.
at that age you've got a little bit more self-restraint. If you get into a
32.
fight or
Hang
when
on,
you're in
McGregor's
the octagon
32.
fighting, you're not just going to be reckless and just throwing haymakers out
Yeah.
there. Plus, you've been training for a shitload of time. So
No, and this is what I'm pretty sure it's Joe Rogan talks about. Like early 30s for a man is like the athletic prime. That's when your muscle development is at its peak. It's like you're getting most. So in that sense as well, like your body should be in as good condition as any, especially for a sport like that.
Yeah. Well, why is McGregor on the decline? Is it?
I think it's a lot. He's got
out
other
with the
options.
old- It's out with the
Yeah.
old in
A
the
sport like fighting, if that's not your only option, it's very hard to motivate yourself to go get punched in the face for a
Yo,
living.
Do you know-
when you got 700 or 770, I think, million Australian is the payout. $700 million in your pocket. Getting punched in the face doesn't make sense anymore.
Yeah, it's hard to love.
You know what? I do think the reason why he's not the Ducks nuts anymore is because Khabib ruined him.
Yeah.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
Khabib got in the
Pummeled
ring and basically said, "You're a little boy, and no matter what you do in this fight, you can't beat me."
Yeah.
And that was like a, oh shit, mic drop sort of moment. I mean, that's why I think he's not the Ducks nuts anymore.
It's been
That's why
downhill
his
since then. hasn't it?
self-confidence is destroyed. Dude, if you ever wrestle a man, let alone get into a punching match, if you just wrestle a man and he dominates you to the point where you feel like a little boy, your self-confidence is just completely destroyed. And when you're on a world stage and you've got millions and millions of people watching you, millions of dollars at stake, and you get humbled like that, that's like, wow.
Yeah.
Do you think it's also like Khabib is not talkative? He's not a flamboyant person. The fact that he just came in and it was a quick loss to Khabib when they fought last, and then just walks off and retires. Is that what hurts a person more than someone who's still in your face chatting shit?
Yeah, in my head, that's the ultimate self-confidence.
Yeah.
When you're not the one talking all the shit, because you're like, I don't need to say anything. I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you. Like that's the ultimate. I'm the best. You're not telling everyone. You're just doing it.
Yeah, just get in there and just be like, oh
Yeah.
shit.
Something Dad
Complete
would always
humble.
say, empty vessel makes the most noise.
It's true, though.
but his favourite fighter is Muhammad Ali, so
Yeah.
like I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, he lost some fights. I don't know.
He lost fights.
Yeah. So maybe he's not the best boxer of all time, but one of the best, most influencers of all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Mike is my opinion best boxer. Anyway.
My grandfather would share that opinion, I believe. He loved Mike Tyson.
Dude, he's an animal.
Yeah.
18 years old, was just getting in there and just rocking the world. Anyway.
Well, they're all animals. I don't want to like discount any one of them, but
Anyone making
Mike had a fucking
money.
pet tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Like
dude,
who
when
the
you're
fuck does that?
Yeah, half
when
of
you're at
Texas,
that
I think, but
level,
that's it. Apart from that, outside of that,
What was that, a TV
Huh?
show?
Carol Baskin.
Carol
yeah.
Baskin.
oh,
Tiger King. Carol Baskin.
Crazy.
When you're at that level, though, there's really talented elite, and then there's just animal.
Yeah.
And there's very minute details, but it
One of
makes
those
or breaks
things we
you.
talked
Yeah.
about.
And Conor might have been that elite when he beat Jose Aldo. Like when he was
Yeah.
like he might have been the echelon, but
Don't get me wrong, dude.
it's
he's
keeping it up. It's keeping it up when you get all the success. Like
Yeah,
that's so hard to do.
Hundreds of millions.
So hard to do. I don't know.
How does
And
Floyd
that's-
Mayweather do it? Because he's doing it with, well, I was going to say Logan Paul, but that comment will get hate.
He doesn't. I don't know that much about boxing. I've just heard things about him, but he wouldn't get hit a lot. So his style of fighting is not one where he's
Exactly.
just getting in brawls, from what I understand.
Grab air.
Yeah, he's
Grab
just,
air.
Yeah.
That's like trying to punch.
So he's not copping the abuse that someone else who's getting in these brawls would probably
Exactly.
cop. So it's probably easier to maintain that.
Yeah, you watch
Keep
like,
fighting.
people like Nate Diaz, and every time he fights, he splits the same part of his eyebrow. Whole head seems to just bleed, fall out.
Yeah.
And then you look at Money Mayweather. Mayweather's just like this the whole fight, dodging every single punch. So
I think that's an aspect of it too. Like Conor's been knocked out a few times now. And
He's fighting Logan Paul soon, June 6th.
that's a free money, dude.
Floyd Mayweather.
But he's never fought anyone professionally as big as Logan Paul.
No, but
I don't think
free
it
money
matters.
doesn't-
But he's never fought anyone
Yeah.
that big.
I disagree because
size matters. That's why they have weight categories in boxing.
not in a professional fight, but I guarantee in the gym he's sized up against people that
You
size.
have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
So I don't think it's going to be a new
You
concept
can't
to
go
him.
in. You can't go in fighting middleweights when you're versing a heavyweight.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
newsflash, this is the whole point behind training for martial combat, is that the little guy can beat the big guy, and the big guy can
Boxing's different.
Dude,
I think boxing is
I completely
different.
disagree. The whole point behind training for these sort of sports is so that in a real world environment, you can defend
No.
yourself. Yes,
I know
dude,
what you're saying.
completely.
It's
That's
about
why-
self-defense in the real world,
Yeah.
but that's not what these guys are doing. They're not doing it for real world self-defense.
I bet you at the beginning it probably was, and all these skills.
Logan
pardon
Paul
me,
wasn't.
These still translate into real world skills. So he's probably still well capable of beating the shit out of someone 2 times the size.
He'd have a better chance. I disagree. I think you put Floyd Mayweather up against like just a big fucking fella, who you see
Like
in the
how-
valley on
like
a
you
Saturday
want-
night.
And you think he's fucked?
No.
I think Floyd Mayweather would get fucked.
Well, I
think-
could not
I think
disagree
You don't understand how
more.
small Floyd Mayweather is.
I don't care.
Like, I don't
I
want to
think
say
he
he's
could-
small, but like he's like you.
Yeah, no, I'm small.
So like, I don't think you could fuck someone who's big up.
Are we
I
talking
think-
about it in boxing? Because in boxing, I 100%. Maybe in a UFC fight where they can just grab him and hold him down.
you
That's
brought it back to
different.
real worlds.
If real world,
application.
maybe you might be right. I
I'll
don't
be
think.
completely honest with
I don't
you.
think everyone.
Most people are exhausted after like 30 seconds to 45 seconds of combat. So
Yeah, but
in
it
a
doesn't
real
get
world
to
scenario,
that situation
yes,
in
it
real world.
fucking does.
Real world is short, sharp.
Oh no.
It all ends up on the ground in
If
real
you're-
world. That's why you
Yeah,
gotta learn
exactly.
jujitsu.
Yeah.
If you are in a real world fight and someone pushes you and you throw a punch and you hit them square on the chin, they're fucked.
Yeah, he would probably drop any average.
Yeah,
I don't agree
no,
with you.
no.
I don't agree
hang
with
on,
you.
Stop. Because I'm not talking about a real world average guy. I said a big fella.
I just okay, a real world average 6'7" guy.
He punch it up like this.
I don't care. He would hit his liver. He'd give him a liver shot and he'd drop. I don't know, man.
no.
I
You
think he
also
would
said you
clean.
also said a real world like big average fella.
A big fella. I said a big fella.
Down at Fortune Valley on a Friday,
A big.
Saturday.
There are big fellas down.
There
I was
are.
there on
There
Saturday
are.
night.
Are they the bouncers?
Sunday night. There are some of them are bouncers too.
Yeah.
There are big fellas.
I don't know. I think he'd definitely like have a really awesome shot.
I
Beating
think
a big fella.
I definitely
but
think
that's
so.
that's changing the mood a little
I
bit.
think you'd definitely knock him out. I'm just going halfway to meet you.
And I think he would beat Logan Paul too. I don't.
Yeah.
You're so set on Logan Paul. But
I
do you
like
think?
Logan Paul. I'm a fan
Anything
of
with
Logan.
The name Paul.
Oh, he loves
Oh.
it. Yeah. Really leans into the mic on those ones. That's for sure.
I don't know. I think.
I don't-
By the way, it's free money. It's free money. Whether
Yeah.
you win or lose, it's millions, dude. Because, like you sort of said, there's no one who is as famous in the boxing world as Mayweather and Logan Paul right now. Like the money
No.
attracted to that
Yeah.
fight is just huge. So even if you lost, it wouldn't even matter.
It will be the biggest pay-per-view fight of all time.
Maybe.
And then, when it happens, and it will happen, in the future, Jake Paul and Logan Paul will fight each other, and that will be the number
Dude,
one pay-per-view fight of
yes.
all time.
Yeah, that would actually be hilarious.
Maybe.
That will be the number one pay-per-view fight of all time.
Dude,
Maybe.
I'm serious.
But isn't
right
Jake
now.
Paul gonna like?
I'm serious.
Isn't Jake Paul overtaking Logan as like technical boxer?
Dude, that would be
Maybe
hilarious.
they'll
though.
fight each other. They will fight each other.
Are they
I'm
around
telling
the same
you.
size? I don't know.
They're
Yeah.
close.
They're pretty close. They'd be
You
able
can
to
also
match
meet
up.
weights. Dude,
They'll figure it
I
out.
think you're big brain though. I think that like deep down you've really thought about this, and it makes total sense. Two
I fucking
famous
haven't thought about it.
brothers enter the scene, start doing really well in terms of the financial aspect of boxing, and
Killing
then
it.
they fight each other for a fuckload of money. It's
Bro,
50-50.
have you've heard about the diss tracks? They've
Yeah,
even dissed each other.
YouTuber diss
They've
tracks.
even
Big.
dissed each other.
Hey, but
big
who
news.
hasn't dissed their younger brother?
No, they've dissed each other publicly. People thought that they hated each other, and they even said that they did hate each other for a period of time.
They're just marketing geniuses, though.
No, they are.
Yeah.
They are.
Oof.
I think
Luke
that
liked
it's
that
probably
one.
Like some double-edged sword or whatever.
Yeah, it's so hard to know because they're so good at what they do that what's contrived, what's not. But they probably don't hate each other. I wouldn't think.
I'm gonna backstep. I still think Floyd Mayweather in a real world environment up against a big fella. How do you think you'd go?
Against a big fella?
Yeah.
I can safely say I'd go pretty
You'd
well
run
most
away?
of the time. No. Dude, I've been in plenty of fights in the Valley.
Okay.
One of my worst fights was in a line, and this dude was probably as tall as you guys.
Okay,
Bit
I wouldn't say I'm
taller.
a big fella, but yeah.
You are. Big
Oh, he's
fella.
6'2", bro.
Dude,
You're top. Oi. Big boy.
bro.
Okay, well, I'm talking bigger boys.
6'2", 84 kilo. Ooh.
Anyway, I think they got it right. So,
Hang on, I want to hear about this fight.
oh, yeah.
He said he's been in loads.
Yeah, there's heaps.
Oh, the one in the valley in the
There's one
line.
in the Valley, this guy cutting line, he was pushing around, he's drunk as shit. I didn't realise his mate behind me. Told the guy in front, hey, just go to the back, mate. He and I got into push and shove. And so I threw the first punch. Broke his nose, blood everywhere. And his mate hit me from behind, so end of story. I just walked off.
Serves
Okay,
you
I'm
right.
not sure what the point of
Serves you right.
No, I'm saying, you asked me. You asked me.
You did ask. Yeah, you did press. You got the answer.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've been hard on you.
Anyway.
But I still think Floyd
Oh,
Mayweather.
shut up. Anyway,
You're
people,
interesting,
people
mate.
who are fighting big people, Epic Games fighting Apple last year, August 2020.
Big
That's
fighting,
just
massive.
kicked off.
That's massive money.
Epic Games also fighting, which Epic Games is Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's also
They are
fighting
Fortnite, right.
Android, Google, whatever the fuck, the Play Store, whatever
Yeah.
that is.
Just sort of give the.
Well, no, because it
audience
was
a wrap.
it,
Give us a
It was
rundown.
last August because they allowed users to pay for in-app purchases directly, which is against Apple's App Store rules. Turns out it was just a elaborate plan which they were trying to evoke to poke Apple.
Yeah.
Because Epic
Why?
knew that would boot them off the Apple Store, and they got kicked off the Apple Store.
It's
And
all
then
a money grab.
they're coming at Apple now with with lawsuits, Apple and Google. So that's what their argument is, that App Store is the only way Apple uses, which is a huge fucking market. I think 2/3 of America have iPhones. I was looking it up the other day. I think it's only half of Australia is.
Really?
It's
I would have
surprisingly
thought
low.
2/3.
But we've also got a really different audience.
But-
Like we've got a lot
but-
of
So yeah.
like the Asian continent here in Australia.
Yeah.
who-
Like Huawei's here and doesn't even exist in
Yeah.
America.
We've got massive options here.
But they're essentially arguing that iOS users can only access Apple apps, and that means they're monopolizing the market. And I think the term of the lawsuit is antitrust violations, which just means they've got too much control over the end product.
What do you think about that? Because at the end of the day, it's our responsibility as
At
the
the end of
user.
the day, we're all fruit.
Yeah, oh, there you go. At the end of the day, we're all for it.
This guy. At the end of the day, it's our responsibility to pick and choose and open up the market so that we benefit. But all we've done is just close in on the market. And in my opinion,
What do you
not
mean?
even
Sorry,
on
what do you mean by that?
For example, if you've got 20 options here and every single person you talk to, like we all just buy the same product, well then of course the market's just going to shrink on that one product. There's not going to be 40 options like there is at the supermarket. There's only like 2 or 3 like there are in phones. You know what I mean? Like we don't open up the market by purchasing different options and trying different shit. We just keep going the same thing. People who have been stuck with Apple, they just keep buying Apple every single time they buy a new phone. They don't ever try, I want to try Samsung, I want to try Huawei or whatever the hell. They just go
I
down
think
one channel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and what's Epic's Game's intent? Like, what do you think the reason for that poke?
It's
I
to
think
show
it's-
the world that you can't allow the monopolies to stand. You've
Do-
got to,
I think it will
Do you
become
believe
like
that?
a preceding case. I think
Do you think that they're... Because I did a little bit of research into, like, Epic Games, and they're, like, 40% owned by the Chinese company, what is it? Tencent. They're the ones who have, like, WeChat
yeah.
and that kind of thing. Do you think it was just a poke to, like, a noble cause to show this is a monopoly? Or do you think
is
it's
that
some kind of...
WeChat's Chinese strictly?
Yeah.
Is it Chinese v America? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, do you think it's, like, some kind of way to break up these big things that they can sweep in?
This guy's
Dude,
hitting us with conspiracy
yeah,
theories.
but like, do you think it's just like, oh, they're
I'm
a
still thinking
monopoly?
about Floyd Mayweather against a big drunk dude.
I don't like monopolies. They're like, what? I don't see why they would do it intentionally,
Maybe.
unless they're just covering their ass. Like, oh,
Well,
well, we didn't actually do it intentionally.
Well, I think
I
Trying
think
to
there's
bullshit a
big
bit.
money. I think there'd be big
you
money
think
in
it's
it.
mainly money?
But
the thing is that, like Luke said, there's only really like Apple product, like the Apple market for the iOS users, so they can't shop or spend their money anywhere else. So all Epic Games are trying to do is say, hey, look at this guy, he's just taking everyone's money for free because there's no other option. And they're saying, oh, we want to be an option so that we get more money.
what do you mean?
Like, by Epic Games poking the bear, Apple, they're basically saying, hey, let's stop allowing Apple to get this free money because there's no other options. I want to be another option, so you spend money with me, you know what I mean? That's
Well,
one way.
and your point, you were trying to make a point before, weren't you? Like, do we have a problem with
Yeah, do we have a
Apple
problem with it?
being like a monopoly? And
Yeah.
Well, their argument is, you want to be on our platform, you pay to be on our platform. You stick to our rules.
You think that's fair?
and no one's holding a gun to your head saying buy an Apple phone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There are so many options. Like
That's
you
literally
said,
what I
there are
was saying, yeah.
so I don't know why is that big a deal. I don't know enough about monopolies and history and why they are a bad thing. But like, why?
I think people
If they're
have
the best
started
product.
to dislike them.
If they're the best product, why
But it's,
is that bad that they can choose what to do on their own
I don't
platform?
think it's that. I think it's because it's essentially the App Store is a secondary market. So the primary market is the Apple phone, which people make the decision to buy. So then why should they
be restricted to just the Apple market.
Exactly, which then they're manipulating and saying you can come on, you can't come on just because of the rules
The whole point
we
behind
established.
the Apple secondary market being a problem is that in games like Fortnite, you have small microtransactions where you're using real world money to buy skins in game.
Yeah.
Now, if you can't spend that money with the actual content creator, then Apple's just taking a cut of that money. For example, if I spend $1, that content gets maybe 40 cents and Apple gets 60, and that's where the argument is that why do they have to shop through Apple Market? Why can't they shop through like an open market where they can pick Apple, they can pick Epic Games, Amazon? There's no other options for the Apple user. It's just Apple Market.
And with the Fortnite thing, was it just the mobile Fortnite game that this is the whole debacle over, or was it like you would have?
No, just the mobile version.
Because that's not the biggest version of it. It's the computer version. It's the whatever Xbox, PlayStation. They're the ones that actually matter.
Yeah.
So this.
Yeah, but it's still money, dude.
And it wasn't.
You think it's still a lot of people using the mobile game?
The Fortnite app. It was essentially just the in-app purchases.
Yeah, in-app purchases. That's
in
a big
the
deal.
Fortnite
Yeah,
app.
Because that's where they
Apple
make their
didn't
money.
like.
That's where they make their
That's
money.
where apps make their money. Yeah.
It's all the purchases you make in game, and if Apple's taking a cut, like that's where
Gaming's
they're getting angry.
big money at the moment now as well.
Who's that, sir?
Gaming. It's
Yeah,
just huge Twitch streamers making bulk
Esports.
making absolutely bank. Yeah.
Esports
Here's a question.
teams.
If you guys were little tangent, little interest here. If you guys were content creators who had made this
We are.
a new game,
We're,
right?
we're podcast
a
hosts.
game,
If we make a
And
game,
Apple were taking a cut, would you be happy with something like 60-40? What would you like? 50-50 or? I
Okay,
mean,
no,
through their
you can't
app
you can't run a
purchases.
business at 50-50 cost just for distribution though.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where they're.
is that what it was? It was 60-40. That
I
was.
don't know
No,
what
it's
it
not,
was,
not
though.
We don't know?
exactly.
No.
It's just a guesstimate. I'm just saying that, like,
What would you take?
my point is, if you're the content creator behind the game, are you going to be happy with a big cut like that or any cut? You know what I mean? It's like, no, you want your money. So that's where they're coming from.
It's hard to know. Like I think initially I wouldn't mind for the exposure. Like you wouldn't mind if
Yeah,
you were
but
still
when you're-
growing.
But when you're billions or millions of dollars worth, like, that's where you get upset. You're like, come on, man, let me have my money.
Maybe interesting to know how much they were
Of course,
taking.
how it
Yeah,
works,
have
but-
Well, I'm actually looking at something else because I was just trying to check what I thought was the case because slightly different, but I think OnlyFans charge accounts. I think it's 20%, but I'm just trying to
What, to be on
fact
the
check
platform?
myself. Yeah, to be on obviously revenue.
Hey, that's I mean, like,
20% revenue?
That doesn't even seem steep though. Like, if that's the case.
I'll say it's a little bit different because they're orchestrating the deal, whereas
Apple just.
and they're also like the cost of a product on OnlyFans is essentially a bathroom. Not essentially, it's a lot cheaper to produce a bathroom selfie or a little porno than it is to come up with a fucking game like Fortnite
Yeah, true.
that costs millions
Yeah, you can
of
just
dollars.
Take your top off.
in development. Yeah.
Probably hundreds of millions.
Oh, I have no idea. I know there's big
venture
budgets and
capitalists that
big
go into
teams.
games like that.
You know the other day how we were talking about Jake Paul being with what's that entrepreneur who basically like tees up
Oh, Asian
Jimmy something or
Asian
other?
dude.
I can't remember
I
the name.
can't
I can't remember
You
the
know what
name.
I'm talking about? Surely.
Jimmy Woo?
Yeah, Jimmy Woo.
Was it? I don't know.
Woo, it seems to be.
Jeffrey Woo.
Jeffrey Woo. Damn.
You know who
it's
you're
close.
thinking? You're thinking of Jimmy.
Jimmy
Mr.
Choo.
Beast. Yeah.
Oh, Jimmy Donaldson.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Jimmy Woo.
So many people.
Long story short,
Jeffrey Woo.
People like that tee up the $1 million deals, and so yeah.
Yeah,
That's where
I
all money
think.
comes from. It's
I
where
mean, I don't have a
big
pro. I don't have a
industry
pro-
like gaming is making heaps.
I don't have a problem
Yeah.
with Apple taking some.
I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think the whole.
And you want to be on our platform, stick to our rules. I do think Fortnite will win.
What? Why? What
I
precedent
think-
will that set though? Like that won't that?
I don't
You're
know.
going to disrupt things?
I don't know. It's just a gut feeling that I have that I think there's started to be a hatred towards big companies that have monopolies over certain markets, and I think
Google's next.
No,
Facebook. Yeah.
what's it called? Epic Games is fighting Google too.
Yeah.
They're about to go on the stand after this one, I believe, against Apple. So I think this is sort of, but I'm not sure about Google's scenario if it was any different. But I think if one happens to the other one, you got to do it to the other. Like
It would seem
I
that
can't-
way,
I can't
unless
think
they
that
would
is
probably
different.
find reasons why not to
Yeah.
if they didn't want to.
Do you
And
guys
it'll be
like
drawn out.
the idea of like these middleman sort of points? For example, well, we'll just keep using Apple because it's where we're at. You know how you've got the Apple market and then you have 50 million games out there? Well, that middle point, that's the only way to collate all these ideas, these games, these moves and stuff like that. We can't butcher them for holding the position of the middleman. So how do you moderate them, I guess? Do you just say you're not allowed to take a bigger cut or...
you can. I don't
'Cause you
think
can't
we can
just
say
get rid of
anything.
them.
Yeah, no, because then so many apps or games or whatever won't have any exposure
Yeah,
whatsoever. Because like they're the things we use. It's kind of how do you undo what's been done if you think it is a problem? Because then backtracking on that whole monopoly that's been created, like there's so many people will fail because of that, because that's their only way of getting onto a platform. I don't know. You have to have so many valid other options going with it.
We're struggling to get onto Apple Podcasts at the moment. We're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, but our application with Apple Podcasts is taking a really long time. I'm actually, after this, going to resubmit a new application just because they hold the power.
Well, I'm Team Epic Games now. That's bullshit. Screw monopolies. What's going on?
Yeah, let's get it on there. Because they hold the power and that they have a huge user base. People that have Apple phones listen on Apple Podcasts some of the time, not everyone.
It's my main podcast.
And they've got top charts.
Yeah.
You listen on it. Yeah. That's how people grab new listeners and consumers.
And we'd love to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Shout out Tim Cook.
How do you compete against these big monopolies? Is it lawsuits?
It seems like that's the only way to get them at a vulnerable position. I don't know. You got to bring a better product, but who's going to use the better product? You need so much exposure. I don't know. I actually don't know how you would. I'm not smart enough to think of it. What has done it recently? What kind
of sort of art of war quote where you don't attack the enemy head on, you attack the flanks or something like that. I feel like that's what lawsuits. It's not going for them head on, but actually just creating something else and
creating discontent within there for like.
Well, I don't think like the way to go about it would be try and build a new or better phone. I don't think that's the best way to tackle Apple.
No, because it'll cost a lot of money and a lot of.
How to do it because if I did, I'd probably be sitting on $1 trillion.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you got to pick at them. You got to find their weaknesses. You got to.
3 dudes sitting
here. Actually, I made my first million.
Oh, good.
Very good.
Teach me how.
I'm a Bitcoin millionaire.
Oh, nice.
Very impressive.
Well, not a millionaire, but I'm a Bitcoiner now.
Oh, nice.
You bought Bitcoin?
I bought Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
But actually, Ethereum's made me more money than Bitcoin has. But actually,
you just bought it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I bought it like 2 days ago.
So of course, Ethereum's made you more money.
Yeah, Ethereum's gone gangbusters. I think I'm up like $300 on Ethereum. So we're counting our.
What's Ethereum for the people like me who have no idea what Ethereum is?
It's another cryptocurrency. Okay. They call it. They have these things called smart contracts, which essentially means that you can implement contracts on the currency to say, for the more real life application of Ethereum would be in a housing transaction or something like that, goods or services. So when you send me the Ethereum, you get the ownership rights. So it's like it performs the swap. It performs the swap in real time.
That's where NFTs come into play. NFTs,
that's a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, but I'm
still struggling to understand it.
Well, it's really simple. Just literally think of a fence gate, and there's 2 in one property, but there's a string attached around the house. If you want to open up one, it opens up the other at the exact same time.
Okay.
That's all it is, and that's a very simplified version, of course. But that's the concept: is that there's a string attached to 2 gates, and it forces them to operate at the same time to open.
It's used in conjunction with.
Yeah. They can also operate in and of themselves, and so on and so forth. There can be millions of fractal numbers, but they basically operate the same. So, like you said, as my money comes to you, the ownerships go to me.
But the way, and I sort of do understand it, but I'm still, I guess, conceptualizing and putting it together in my head the way it can be applied. But NFT is a non-fungible token.
Yep.
Fungible is something that can be replaced. I give you $5, you give me $5. That's fungible because it's the same things just happen even though it's swap notes.
Yep.
Non-fungible is something unique. So 2 houses are not unique because they're different area for starters.
They're in and of themselves.
So that's a non-fungible thing. A token is something tied to a cryptocurrency. It could be like the Ethereum, which is your gate swinging analogy.
Yeah. Do you know who used an NFT as sort of like a, oh shit, look at me, Flume. He put a little bit of artwork up and he put an NFT attached to it. So that
what is that?
That one piece of artwork is unique now in and of itself purely because that NFT attached to it. Right. So you might have, for example, the Mona Lisa, and you can have 50 million or an infinite amount of copies of the Mona Lisa. But if you have an NFT attached to the original, that's supposed to make it valid.
Right, so it's just like a validation that it is the original and it's the artist or whoever the original.
Think about it like this.
The hell is that?
What is this? This is auctions for Flume's NFTs. The auction has ended on the We got a new auction starting.
What?
Oh wait, maybe this is a new auction started.
What the fuck is
I don't
that?
know.
Yeah,
Okay, so this is going
What's
to be the
going?
art.
Hey, what's
This
going
is-
on
this
here?
This is the
I miss
artwork
the old
now.
days. What is this?
So this is an
That's
eyeball. This is an eyeball.
28.28 Ethereum. Yeah.
That's what. Holy,
So-
94K.
equivalent to-
Yeah.
That's
See
what
I
that
mean?
sold for.
And so that's your album cover.
I mean, it's cool, but it's also what?
no, but
it
get
was-
this right. This is where it gets wacky.
Han, you need the sound on. That would be copyright.
You know, that album cover is, so with the NFT, it's unique in and of itself. However, he's going to release the exact same album cover 1,000,000 times over.
Well,
without
they
the
usually
NFT.
specify. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So you've got a copy, but you've only got the copy. You don't have the original, and that's where the whole concept comes from.
It's a clout thing.
It's
you got
sort
the
of-
original.
Yeah, yeah,
It's sort of like you can easily download an image of the Mona Lisa,
yeah.
but you don't have the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
And just by downloading an image of the Mona Lisa, and we all do it, and we all hang it up in our house, it only increases the cultural significance of the Mona Lisa.
Exactly.
It makes that real one, or in NFT's case, you can have more than one, you can have multiple, the value of that one.
It's a digital version of just the
I
original
struggle to
copy of
understand
something. That's
the-
all it
the-
is.
The stuff behind this and how that's $95,000.
Well,
that-
it's
no,
it's
that-
beautiful, Luke.
The thing is,
I don't know what's going
It's a
on.
bleeding eye.
yeah, but
I think it's a psychedelic trip.
dude, there's artwork out there worth millions, and I don't understand what it is.
Yeah,
It's just
that's-
The art world
it's
is
paint
foreign
on a
to me.
canvas. It looks like a squiggly line that a 4-year-old did it at preschool, and yet it sells for.
a lot of money laundering going on art world.
Yeah.
I think.
There's
And
so
that's
many
what
issues
stops
with
it.
the art world.
You know, you can also use NFTs for things like medical documents, so that you have to. You know how I was using the gate analogy.
Yep.
Once code comes in, the gate opens, and so when you're on like private details in the medical world, you have to have.
That's
the
probably
special codes.
Ethereum.
No,
You probably don't need an NFT for that, I
you
don't
can
think.
use NFTs for that. What I mean is that the NFT is a blocker. All NFTs are is to block shit from happening without permission.
Not entirely true.
Yeah.
That's a smart contract that
Yeah.
has, it's like a chain reaction. One thing has to happen before the return occurs. NFTs is like, it gives ownership.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what you're doing with
Digital
the
ownership.
code. We can do it.
I'm not, but I'm not educated enough.
I
feel
have
like
no
I am
take.
sometimes.
I have no take.
I'm fairly sure.
Okay,
that's
you
the
could be
concept.
completely right.
It's the gate theory.
I don't know.
Completely wrong.
It's the gate theory.
That's right.
Yeah.
But actually, so you brought up the Flume and
Yeah.
Don't
Remind
quote
me
us
of-
on this. Yeah.
yes, do not.
That's alright. Yeah, Outspoken Show.
oh,
We can say some
yeah,
Yeah.
if we fuck up something,
Yeah,
unlucky
let us
for-
know in the
unlucky
comments.
for-
We don't
well,
mind.
well, I was also going to say unlucky for believing it.
Yeah. Your own fault.
But I was going to say, you're talking about Flume NFT. Do you know, you don't know T Grizzly. I know. Do you know T Grizzly?
Excuse
I've
me.
heard of
What
it.
the hell
He's
is
a
that?
rapper. He's a rapper. But
I bet he's good.
But he's, with his new album, he's releasing an NFT and he's associated, he's got, so this NFT you can buy, there's only a certain number of them, but it's essentially, you're buying into him. So it gives you,
Who's that artist that you said the other day?
Yeah, we talked
sold
about
the
it.
hard copies.
that was Nipsey Hussle.
That's literally what this is.
He's doing the same thing.
Digital
on
version.
a digital version. I love Nipsey Hussle. R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle. But T Grizzly's doing a similar thing where, say you're from Brisbane, not that he does any. Say he's from Atlanta.
Sure.
Next time T Grizzly tours in Atlanta, you've got a ticket. You're locked in.
Oh.
So this sort of ownership, and it gives you certain behind the scenes access to T Grizzly to see what he's recording, unreleased tracks.
For life?
I'm not sure.
That'd be
Maybe
cool.
maybe it's just this album. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
It'd be smarter if it was just for this album.
Yeah.
But
Imagine
smart.
if you could buy like life.
Yeah, there's like
NFTs.
tiers to it. There's tiers to it. You
Yeah,
get the light version,
Isn't
you
that
get
the-
the
isn't that the
3-year
big clout?
version.
It could be the big clout.
Big Cloud's
sort
a
of.
bit, I don't
No,
know.
that's like your Patreon sort of tier system.
Yeah, yeah.
You pay like
It literally is, yeah. You
Yearly,
pay
like I said.
$1,000 a year and you get to come
It
to
is,
every
yeah.
single gig.
that's cool.
But I guess you
Suck during COVID.
get ownership
So
to something
what's-
by
so-
having a physical ticket. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
So this fella, you can buy these. You can buy
Hold
these
up.
deals with him, and every time he comes near your area, boom, you've got a ticket straight away before everyone else.
Yeah,
what Luke's
there's
saying.
other benefits as well.
Wow.
So you've got a guaranteed ticket. So it's obviously easy for them to manage on their end because we know how many people have already bought the NFTs and it's essentially a limited release so that
Yeah, wow.
there can't be like
Yeah.
people buying last minute. So it's an easy thing to logistically plan for, but it's essentially just bringing people closer or feel like they're closer to the artist or T Grizzly in this case.
Dude, I can
think
just
it's
imagine
smart.
being like a full-time scalper as a career. Just like literally sign up to every possible transaction that's similar to this, where you just get automatic tickets and do it like with a bot system. It's like multiple bot entities hold immediate tickets and then just mass scalp across the internet.
Soon you won't be able to.
You're on record, bro.
Soon you won't be able to do that because we'll all have Neuralink chips in our heads, and they'll be able to track exactly who's got what NFT. And you know what? There will be no lying. No one will be able to fraud
It's
it.
weird the data and the privacy thing, because then you've got the Bitcoin, the blockchain, all that technology that disables all the tracking of transactions.
Yeah, there's the whole point behind that. I sort of like the idea of blocking transaction.
Just increased privacy.
Yeah, because in my opinion, no one needs to know how much money I've got. It's none of anyone else's business until I'm giving it to them. If I'm going to give you $5, that's between you and I, because you know I'm giving you $5. But it's none of Luke's business because he's not part of the transaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he doesn't. And the person you're giving to doesn't need to know what you've got.
And you can still look at where the money was going.
But why? They don't need to know that I'm giving it to him.
You can still look it up.
No, but what I mean is
you won't really know what it's for.
Yeah.
Like, you could just be transferring him. But that's where it gets interesting, because why would a government want to know let you know where they're spending their money?
Mm.
Why should you know that Scott Morrison's assistant just took a $19,000 jet down to the Gold Coast for strippers, hookers, and cocaine on the weekend? But that's the sort of tracking that would show up in those budgets, because you can actually.
So that would be undercover. They'd be able to hide that with.
No, because they can see the money getting spent, but they don't know what it's getting spent on. So it's like, well, why is all this money getting spent here?
Yeah,
it's actually harder to hide.
You'd have royal commissions into why Scotty's party has just spent $250,000 the past quarter on like at some place down the Gold Coast in like some dingy alleyway. It's like
Love and Rockets or something. Yeah. Is that a nightclub? I've never partied.
I don't think it's a nightclub, mate.
Is it?
I have no idea what it is. I've heard Love and Rockets.
I thought it was down the valley.
Is that Valley?
Oh, maybe.
Where's that strip club?
No.
Yeah.
It's a strip club, bro. What do you? Hey.
Hey, Luke's going to the strip.
Luke,
I've never.
I'm there every weekend. I've just forgot what it is.
I've never heard of it.
I hate them. Saturday night. Yeah.
Bro, one of my mates, we went out Sunday night. We were chatting last night about the night. I love recapping on nights.
It's awesome.
Just chatting.
Especially when you're both really drunk and trying to piece it all together. Like,
you just message each other.
You just disappeared after like 2 o'clock. Where'd you go, man? Oh, I don't know.
It was like, what's happening? And then you get chatting about the night out, and you're recapping like, shit, I didn't know that happened. But it didn't happen. I messaged this dude, and he goes, oh, we did go out.
Oh my god.
He wasn't that drunk, which had me worried. It's like, he was pretty fine. I beat him in pool, mind you.
A bit pissed off. Wow, that's shameful
but
to be honest.
He didn't remember going out, and I don't know why that is. No, it wasn't. I was with him the whole night. I know for a fact it wasn't.
Just you're not that memorable, I guess, Luke. That's a bit rude.
Maybe it was a funny night, but
for one of you.
Yeah.
Sitting there going up, like, Luke's real confused right now.
So then he sends me a bunch of questions about the night, like when was the Uber home, God. Did we all Uber back to mine, sending me all these questions, and I'm just like laughing, facing everything.
Yeah, because you don't know why you can't.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I'm like, how the fuck do you not remember this dude? Like, you need to fucking look into this. This is a serious medical issue. You can't remember anything on a night out.
Wow.
And then he just keeps going bump, trying to reply and get everything to come back up at the bottom, trying to get these questions answered. Then we end up on the call, and we're recapping, as in me just telling him how the night went down. But I don't forget, really. I really don't forget.
Do you get really smashed when you go out?
I have been. Like, I'm not going to...
remember when you get super smashed?
Pretty much. Yeah. There's not much that surprised me. Or there might be times that I overlook, but then it doesn't take much to trigger something back. But I really don't forget when I'm drunk.
Big piss up.
I don't think I've ever had a blackout period, though, when I've been drunk. It's been like 6-7 times where I've probably been properly drunk. And I don't... There's no, like, gaps of memory. Like,
we can change this.
Well, yeah, I also have...
Well,
I hold myself
what are
back
you
when
doing
I feel
Saturday
like I'm
night?
getting cooked.
We can plan something just so that
So
we're
much on
essentially-
Saturday night.
Dude, I've already got it organised. Piss up with the boys. You
Yeah,
guys,
perfect.
let's
Well,
go.
we're at a party, but then we'll meet out afterwards.
Oh, all right. Will we? Will we, Luke? Far out. Jeez.
Well, we don't have to.
Yeah,
And then
we'll-
just obliterate
so-
ourselves from Mother's Day
so-
after I gave that lovely spiel about how I need that one day to fully appreciate my mother and remind me and bring me back to earth.
She's just nursing you in bed. Oh, you're right, Luke. You look a bit sick.
Some more water.
Luke's like, Mom, I'm dying.
Give me some space.
Oh.
But anyway, that was a good episode. I had fun there.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Craziness.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification.
Hit the bell.
Follow us on Instagram. Subscribe to our channel.
Shout out Maddie, the editor, for blurting out as much of my coughing as possible. Thanks, dude.